I used to think marriage was a team sport. Turns out I was the mascot. Entertaining, mostly ignored, and easily replaced when the real players wanted to take the field. My name is Nick Fenwick, and I'm 33 years old. I manage IT projects for a mid-sized firm in Boston, which means I spend my days explaining to people why their brilliant ideas won't work, and my evenings pretending my wife Erica's PR career is more important than mine. She's 31, beautiful in that calculated way that requires 2 hours of morning preparation, and she's been lying to me for months. But I'm getting ahead of myself. It was a Tuesday evening in October when everything changed. I'd picked up Thai food from our usual place. Pad Thai for her, green curry for me, extra spicy because I actually have taste buds. Our condo in Back Bay was pristine as always, thanks to Erica's obsession with maintaining the perfect image. Everything white and gray and expensive, like a magazine spread designed by someone who'd never actually lived in a home. "We need to talk," Erica said as I unpacked the containers. She was still in her work clothes, a designer blazer that cost more than my monthly car payment and heels that clicked against our hardwood floors like a countdown timer. I should have known right then. Nobody starts a conversation with "we need to talk" unless they're about to ruin your evening, your week, or your entire life. "Sure," I said, grabbing plates from the cabinet. "Did the Henderson account come through?" "Nick, sit down." Her voice had that careful, practiced tone she used with difficult clients. I sat across from her at our dining table, another expensive piece that looked great, but felt like sitting on a park bench. "I made a mistake," she began, pulling out her phone. "I need you to see this before you hear it from someone else." She slid the phone across the table. The screen showed a video, paused on an image of Erica pressed against a wall in what looked like a bathroom. A man's hands were on her waist, his face buried in her neck. I recognized him immediately. Austin Drake, her ex-boyfriend from college. The guy had turned personal training into an Instagram career, posting shirtless photos with motivational quotes that probably came from a fortune cookie factory. "It was just a kiss," Erica said quickly. "We ran into each other at that charity event last week, and we both had too much wine, and it just happened. It didn't mean anything." Before we deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. I stared at the screen. The timestamp showed the video was 3 minutes long. Either Austin was the world's slowest kisser, or Erica's definition of just a kiss was more creative than her PR campaigns. "Who took this?" I asked. "Some girl at the event. She posted it on her story before I could stop her. Nick, I'm so sorry. It was stupid and meaningless, and I love you." I set the phone down and looked at my wife. Really looked at her. The perfectly applied makeup, the designer clothes, the practiced expression of remorse. Everything about Erica was calculated, including this conversation. "You know what's funny?" I said, reaching into my jacket pocket. "I had a surprise for you tonight." I pulled out 2 airline tickets and placed them on the table next to her phone. "Paris, first class. I booked that boutique hotel you showed me in the magazine. Non-refundable, of course, because I wanted to make sure we'd actually go." Erica's eyes widened. For the first time in months, her expression looked genuine. "Nick, we can still—" "No, we can't." I stood up and walked to the kitchen, returning with a lighter from the junk drawer. "See? The thing about trust is that once it's gone, it's gone. Kind of like these tickets." I flicked the lighter and held the flame to the corner of the first ticket. Erica jumped up, reaching across the table, but I stepped back and let the paper burn completely before dropping it into my empty water glass. "Nick, stop. Those cost—" $4,000, I said, lighting the second ticket. "But don't worry. I'm sure Austin can take you somewhere nice. Maybe he knows a good bathroom." The second ticket joined the first in the glass. Erica was staring at me like she'd never seen me before, which was probably accurate. In 5 years of marriage, I'd never raised my voice, never made a scene, never done anything that might disturb her carefully maintained world. "I need you to apologize," I said, picking up her phone. "What?" "For the video, for lying, for thinking I'm stupid enough to believe it was just a kiss." I opened her camera app and hit record. "Go ahead." "Nick, you can't—" "I can, and I will. You recorded yourself cheating on me. Now you're going to record yourself apologizing for it." Erica's face went pale under her foundation. "Turn that off. Apologize first." She looked at the camera, then at me, then back at the camera. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Louder, and be specific." "I'm sorry I cheated on you with Austin. I'm sorry I lied about it. I'm sorry I thought you were too stupid to figure it out." I stopped recording and looked at the video. Perfect. Erica's perfectly applied makeup couldn't hide the panic in her eyes or the tremor in her voice. "Now what?" she asked. I opened her contacts and scrolled through the list. Erica had over 300 contacts, her friends, family, clients, colleagues, everyone who mattered in her carefully constructed social world. Now I share this with everyone who needs to know what kind of person you really are. Nick, no. But I was already hitting send. The video went out to her entire contact list. Her mother, her sister, her boss, her clients, her college friends, everyone from her yoga instructor to her hairdresser. "Oops," I said, handing her the phone back. "Fat finger. You know how clumsy I am with technology." Erica grabbed the phone and stared at the screen in horror. The message was already showing, as delivered to hundreds of recipients. "You just destroyed my career," she whispered. "No," I said, sitting back down and opening my container of green curry. "You did that when you decided to record yourself cheating on me in a bathroom. I just made sure everyone knows about it." Her phone started buzzing immediately. First one call, then another, then a constant stream of notifications as her social media lit up with comments and messages. "I'm going to Jay's," I announced, standing up and grabbing my jacket. Jay managed a dive bar in Southie and had been my best friend since college. He was also the only person who'd ever told me that Erica was trouble, which I'd ignored because I thought I was in love. "Nick, wait. Enjoy your dinner," I said, "and your phone calls. I'm sure you'll have a lot of explaining to do." I left her sitting at our expensive table, surrounded by the ruins of our expensive life, holding her buzzing phone like a grenade with the pin pulled out. The October air was cold against my face as I walked to my car, but I felt lighter than I had in months. For the first time since I'd married Erica, I'd stopped being the mascot and started being the player. And the game was just getting started. Jay's bar, O'Malley's, was exactly what you'd expect from a dive in South Boston. Dim lighting, sticky floors, and the kind of regulars who minded their own business and expected you to do the same. It was the opposite of everything Erica represented, which made it the perfect place to process what I'd just done. "You look like someone who just torched his entire life," Jay said when I walked in. He was behind the bar, polishing glasses with the practiced efficiency of someone who'd been doing it for 15 years. "Just half of it," I replied, sliding onto my usual stool. The half that was cheating on me. Jay set down the glass and gave me his full attention. "Erica?" "Erica." "About time." He poured me a whiskey without asking what I wanted. Jay had been telling me for years that my wife was bad news, but he'd done it in that careful way friends use when they know you're not ready to hear the truth. "Want to talk about it?" he asked. I told him everything, the video, the tickets, the mass message to her contact list. Jay listened without interrupting, occasionally nodding or shaking his head. "So, what's the plan?" he asked when I finished. "Plan? Come on, Nick. I've known you since college. You don't do anything without a plan. You probably had 3 backup strategies before you lit those tickets." He was right, of course. Even in my anger, I'd been thinking several moves ahead. I want her to understand what it feels like to have your life exposed. "And Austin?" "Austin's going to learn that actions have consequences." My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "This is Liv Martinez. I saw the video your wife sent out. We need to talk." I showed Jay the message. He raised an eyebrow. "Liv Martinez," I said, thinking. That name sounds familiar. "Austin's ex," Jay said immediately. "She's an influencer or something, always posting about fitness and lifestyle stuff. They had a messy breakup about 6 months ago." I texted back, "I'm listening." Her response came immediately. "Not over text. Meet me at Starbucks on Newberry Street tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'll be wearing a red jacket." "This is getting interesting," Jay said. "It's about to get a lot more interesting." The next day, I left work early and walked to the Starbucks. Boston in October was beautiful. The leaves changing colors, the air crisp but not yet bitter. I'd always loved this time of year, but Erica complained that fall made her depressed, so we usually spent October planning our winter vacation to somewhere warm and expensive. Not this year. Liv Martinez was exactly what I'd expected. Mid-20s, Instagram perfect, with the kind of carefully casual style that took hours to achieve. She was sitting at a corner table, scrolling through her phone with the focused intensity of someone whose livelihood depended on social media engagement. "Nick?" she asked as I approached. "That's me?" She gestured to the chair across from her. "I ordered you a coffee. Black, no sugar. You look like a black coffee kind of guy." She wasn't wrong. "Thanks. So what did you want to tell me about Austin?" Liv leaned forward, lowering her voice. "First, you should know that your wife has been lying about a lot more than just one kiss." She pulled out her phone and showed me a series of screenshots. Text messages between Austin and someone named E. He never deletes anything, she explained. And he's terrible with passwords. This goes back 3 months. I scrolled through the messages. They started innocent enough. Great seeing you at the gym, and thanks for the workout tips. But they quickly escalated into something much more explicit and ongoing. 3 months, I said. At least. And Nick? Your wife told him she was separated. She said you two were just living together for financial reasons while the divorce went through. I felt something cold settle in my stomach. She what? Look at this one from last week. She scrolled to a message from E. Nick still doesn't know anything. He's so clueless, it's almost sad. After the charity event, we can start being more public about us. More public, I repeated. They had plans, Nick. Austin was already looking at apartments for them. He showed me the listings, trying to make me jealous. I handed her phone back and sat in silence for a moment, processing this new information. Erica hadn't just cheated. She'd been planning to leave me while pretending everything was fine. She'd been using me as a financial safety net while building a new life with her ex-boyfriend. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Liv's expression hardened. Because Austin Drake is a narcissistic piece of garbage who thinks he can treat people like disposable toys. He cheated on me with at least 3 other women, including your wife, and then tried to gaslight me into thinking I was paranoid. So this is revenge for you too. This is justice. There's a difference. She was right. What I was planning wasn't just personal revenge. It was about exposing the truth that Erica and Austin had been hiding. What do you have in mind? I asked. Austin's reputation is everything to him. His Instagram, his training clients, his whole image as this fitness guru and relationship expert. He posts motivational quotes about loyalty and integrity while he's cheating on everyone he dates. And I want to destroy that image. I want everyone who follows him to know what he really is. I can help with that. We spent the next hour planning. Liv had access to more screenshots, photos, and videos that Austin had sent her. She also knew his schedule, his habits, and his weaknesses. He teaches a spin class every Thursday at that fancy gym in Back Bay, she said. The one where all the social media influencers work out. Lots of cameras, lots of witnesses. Perfect. What about Erica? I smiled. Erica's about to discover that her PR skills won't help her when she becomes the story instead of managing it. That evening, I returned to the condo to find Erica pacing in the living room, her phone pressed to her ear. No, Mom, it's not what it looks like, she was saying. It was taken out of context. She saw me and quickly ended the call. We need to talk, she said. I think we covered everything last night. Nick, please. I lost 3 clients today. My boss wants to see me first thing Monday morning. My mother won't stop calling, and my sister won't even answer her phone. Sounds like you're having a rough day. This isn't funny. You destroyed my reputation over one mistake. One mistake? I pulled out my own phone and showed her a screenshot Liv had sent me. Is this one mistake, too? Erica's face went white as she read Austin's message about her being separated and me being clueless. Where did you get this? Does it matter? The question is, how many more lies are you going to tell me? She sank onto the couch, finally dropping the pretense. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. How was it supposed to happen? Were you going to wait until you'd moved in with Austin before telling me our marriage was over? I was going to tell you. When? She didn't answer, which was answer enough. I want you out, I said. This is my home too. Actually, it's not. I pulled out a folder I'd prepared. The deed is in my name only. The mortgage is in my name only. The utilities, the insurance, everything. You might want to check with your boyfriend about those apartment listings. Erica stared at the documents like they were written in a foreign language. You planned this, she whispered. No, I protected myself. There's a difference. Just like there's a difference between one mistake and 3 months of lying. Her phone buzzed with another call. She looked at the screen and declined it. That was my boss again, she said. You should probably take it. You're going to need all the damage control you can get. I left her sitting on the couch and went to the bedroom to pack a bag. I had a feeling the next few days were going to be very interesting, and I wanted to be prepared. The war was just beginning, and I intended to win. Thursday morning arrived gray and cold, matching my mood perfectly. I'd spent the night at Jay's place, sleeping on his couch and planning my next move. Erica had sent 17 text messages and left 9 voicemails, each one more desperate than the last. I deleted them all without reading or listening. At noon, I met Liv at a coffee shop 3 blocks from Austin's gym. She was carrying a large canvas bag and wearing sunglasses despite the overcast sky. Ready? She asked. More than ready. Remember, we're not doing anything illegal. Just making sure the truth gets the attention it deserves. The gym was called Elite Fitness, and it catered to Boston's young professional crowd. The kind of people who paid $300 a month to work out next to Instagram influencers and local celebrities. Austin taught his Thursday spin class at 2 p.m., and according to Liv, it was always packed. He loves having an audience, she explained as we walked toward the building. The bigger the crowd, the more he shows off. We entered separately. I paid for a day pass and changed into workout clothes I'd borrowed from Jay. Liv was already inside, setting up in the back row of the spin class with a clear view of Austin's bike at the front. Austin looked exactly like his Instagram photos. Tall, muscular, with the kind of artificial confidence that came from too many likes and comments. He was wearing a tank top that showed off his arms and a smile that probably worked on most people. It wasn't going to work today. "Welcome, everyone," Austin called out as the class began. "Today we're going to push ourselves to the limit. Remember, champions aren't made in comfort zones." I almost laughed. The guy was a walking motivational poster. The class started, and Austin launched into his routine. High-energy music, shouted encouragement, and plenty of opportunities to show off his physique. About 15 minutes in, Liv caught my eye and nodded. It was time. She pulled out her phone and started projecting something onto the gym's large display screen, the same screen Austin used to show workout metrics and motivational videos. The first image that appeared was a screenshot of Austin's text messages with Erica. The entire class could see his words. "She's so desperate for a real man after being married to that boring IT guy." Austin stopped mid-sentence, staring at the screen in confusion. The next image was worse. A photo Austin had sent to Liv of himself in a hotel room with a message. "Wish you were here instead of at home with boring Nick." "What the hell?" Austin shouted, but his microphone was still on, so everyone in the class heard him. More screenshots appeared. Austin bragging about stealing Erica from her clueless husband. Austin making crude comments about my appearance and personality. Austin planning his future with my wife while I was paying for her lifestyle. The class had stopped spinning entirely. Everyone was staring at the screen, then at Austin, then back at the screen. "This is fake," Austin yelled, jumping off his bike and rushing toward the control panel. "Someone hacked the system." But Liv had already disconnected her phone, and the screenshots had been replaced by Austin's own Instagram posts, all those motivational quotes about loyalty, respect, and integrity, now displayed alongside his actual behavior. "Looks like your workout philosophy doesn't match your personal life," I called out, loud enough for everyone to hear. Austin spun around, looking for the source of the voice. When he spotted me, his face went red. "You," he snarled. "Me," I agreed, getting off my bike and walking toward him. "Nice class, very educational." "You can't do this." "Actually, I just did. And Austin, those aren't fake. Everyone here just saw your real thoughts about loyalty and integrity." The other class members were pulling out their phones, some recording video, others taking screenshots of the display before it went back to normal. Austin lunged toward me, but I stepped aside and he stumbled into his own bike. "Careful," I said. "Wouldn't want you to hurt yourself, though I guess you're used to that by now." "I'll sue you for harassment." "With what money? I hear your girlfriend just lost her job." That stopped him cold. "What?" "Erica. Fired yesterday. Something about bringing negative publicity to her firm. Apparently cheating wives aren't good for the company image." Austin's face went from red to white. "You're lying." "Call her and ask." He pulled out his phone with shaking hands and dialed. I could hear Erica's voice through the speaker, high-pitched and panicked. "Austin, thank God. I've been trying to reach you. They fired me. They said the video was damaging the company's reputation, and—" Austin ended the call and stared at me. "Congratulations," I said. "You just won yourself an unemployed girlfriend and a room full of people who now know exactly what kind of person you are." I looked around at the class members, most of whom were still recording. "Sorry for interrupting your workout, everyone. I just wanted to make sure you all knew who you were taking fitness advice from. Turns out Austin here is an expert at more than just spinning. He's also great at spinning lies." I walked toward the exit, but turned back for one final comment. "Oh, and Austin, you might want to update your Instagram bio. Relationship expert doesn't really fit anymore." The gym erupted in whispers and laughter as I left. Liv followed me out, grinning. "That was perfect," she said. "That was just the beginning." My phone was buzzing with notifications. The videos from the spin class were already going viral on social media, tagged with Austin Exposed and Fitness Scammer. But the best part was yet to come. That evening, I returned to the condo to find Erica waiting for me. She looked like she'd been crying for hours, her makeup smeared and her hair disheveled. "You got me fired," she said. "No, you got yourself fired. I just made sure your boss knew what kind of employee he was dealing with." Nick, please, we can work this out. I'll leave Austin, I'll go to counseling, whatever you want. What I want is for you to understand that actions have consequences. You spent 3 months lying to me, planning to leave me, and making me look like a fool. Now you get to experience what that feels like. I have nowhere to go. You have Austin. Austin won't return my calls. After what happened at the gym today, he's blaming me for everything. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. That's what happens when you build a relationship on lies, I said. Eventually, the truth comes out. What do you want from me? I want you to pack your things and leave. Tonight. Nick, tonight, Erica, or I'll have the locks changed and put your stuff on the sidewalk. She stared at me for a long moment, probably trying to figure out if I was bluffing. I wasn't. Fine, she whispered, but this isn't over. Yes, it is. Your part in my life is over. What happens to you next is entirely up to you. She went to the bedroom to pack, and I sat in the living room, listening to her move around upstairs. My phone kept buzzing with notifications. The Austin videos were spreading across every social media platform, and people were starting to dig into his background, finding more evidence of his lies and manipulations. Erica came downstairs an hour later with 2 suitcases and a defeated expression. Where will you go? I asked, not because I cared, but because I was curious. My mother's. Good luck explaining this to her. She paused at the door. I really did love you, Nick. No, you loved the idea of me. The stable income, the nice condo, the safety net while you figured out what you really wanted. But you never loved me. She opened her mouth to argue, then closed it and walked out. I locked the door behind her and poured myself a drink. The condo felt different without her. Emptier, but also cleaner somehow. Like I'd finally gotten rid of something toxic that I hadn't even realized was poisoning my life. My phone rang. It was Jay. Saw the videos, he said. Nice work. Thanks. So what's next? I looked around the condo. Our condo, now just my condo. Everything was exactly as Erica had left it. Perfectly arranged and completely artificial. Now I start over, I said. Good. It's about time. But even as I said it, I knew it wasn't entirely true. There were still loose ends to tie up. Still consequences that needed to play out. Erica and Austin had thought they were so clever, so careful in their deception. They'd underestimated me, dismissed me as boring and clueless. They were about to learn just how wrong they'd been. 3 weeks later, my new life had settled into a comfortable routine. I'd redecorated the condo, removing all traces of Erica's sterile aesthetic and replacing it with furniture that actually looked like people lived there. I'd started dating again. Nothing serious, just coffee dates and casual dinners with women who didn't require 2 hours of preparation before leaving the house. Most importantly, I'd stopped thinking about Erica and Austin every day. That changed on a Friday evening when I came home to find my front door slightly ajar. I approached carefully, listening for sounds from inside. I could hear voices, Erica's, definitely, and at least one other person. I pulled out my phone and called Jay. I think someone's in my apartment, I said quietly. Call the police. Not yet. I want to see what they're doing first. Nick, don't be stupid. I'll be careful. Just stay on the line. I pushed the door open slowly and stepped inside. The voices were coming from the bedroom, Erica and Austin, arguing in harsh whispers. Told you this was a bad idea, Austin was saying. We need the money, Erica replied. I can't keep staying at my mother's, and you can't keep sleeping on your friend's couch. So we're stealing from your ex-husband? It's not stealing. Half of this stuff should be mine anyway. I crept closer to the bedroom, keeping Jay on the line. Through the partially open door, I could see them going through my dresser drawers and closet. What about this? Austin held up my laptop. Take it, and grab that watch on the nightstand. The watch was a gift from my grandfather, the only thing I owned that had real sentimental value. That's when I stopped being careful and started being angry. Looking for something, I said, stepping into the doorway. Erica spun around, dropping the jewelry box she'd been holding. Austin froze with my laptop in his hands. Nick, Erica said, this isn't what it looks like. Really? Because it looks like my ex-wife and her boyfriend are stealing my stuff. We're not stealing, Austin said. Erica has a right to half of everything. Actually, she doesn't. We had a prenup, remember? The one your girlfriend insisted on because she wanted to protect her assets. Erica's face went pale. The prenup doesn't cover personal property. It covers everything we acquired during the marriage, which includes pretty much everything in this room. I held up my phone. Say hi to Jay, by the way. He's been listening to this whole conversation. You're recording us? Austin demanded. I'm protecting myself, just like I did when I married your girlfriend. Austin set down my laptop and took a step toward me. You think you're so smart. Smarter than you, apparently. Smart enough not to break into someone else's home. This is Erica's home, too. No, it's not. She moved out 3 weeks ago. This is breaking and entering. You can't prove we broke in, Erica said. I still have a key. Had a key. I changed the locks yesterday. I pulled the new key from my pocket. So, how exactly did you get in? They looked at each other, realizing their mistake. The fire escape, Austin said finally. The window was unlocked. So you climbed through my bedroom window to steal my belongings. That's definitely breaking and entering. We weren't stealing, Erica insisted. I just wanted some of my things. Your things are in those boxes by the front door. I packed them up weeks ago. Everything in this room belongs to me. I walked over to the nightstand and picked up my grandfather's watch, checking it for damage. This was my grandfather's, I said. The only thing I have left of him, and you were going to steal it to pay for your new apartment. Nick, I'm sorry, Erica said. We're desperate. I lost my job. Austin lost most of his clients after those videos went viral. We have nowhere to go. That's not my problem anymore. Please, I know I hurt you, but we used to love each other. That has to count for something? I looked at her. Really looked at her. 3 weeks ago, I might have felt sorry for her. 3 weeks ago, I might have been tempted to help, but that was before I'd discovered how good life could be without her lies and manipulation. You're right, I said. We did love each other once, or at least I loved you. But that person is gone, and I'm not responsible for who you became. So what now? Austin asked. You're going to call the police? I should. Breaking and entering is a felony in Massachusetts. But you won't, Erica said, because deep down, you're still the same nice guy who wouldn't hurt anyone. She was wrong about that. The nice guy who wouldn't hurt anyone had been married to a woman who was cheating on him and planning to leave him for her ex-boyfriend. The nice guy who wouldn't hurt anyone had been taken advantage of and made to look like a fool. I wasn't that guy anymore. Jay, I said into the phone, call the police. Tell them I have 2 burglars in my apartment. Nick, no! Erica lunged toward me, trying to grab the phone. I stepped aside, and she stumbled into Austin, who caught her but lost his balance and knocked over my dresser lamp. Now it's breaking and entering plus destruction of property, I said. You bastard, Austin snarled. Careful, that's harassment too. The sound of sirens was already audible in the distance. Jay had been ready. This is insane, Erica said. I'm your wife. Ex-wife. And you stopped being my problem the moment you decided Austin was more important than our marriage. The police arrived 5 minutes later. 2 officers who looked like they'd dealt with domestic situations before. What's the problem here? The older officer asked. I came home to find these 2 people in my apartment, I said. They broke in through the bedroom window and were taking my belongings. Is that true? The officer asked Erica. It's not that simple, she began. It's exactly that simple, I interrupted. They don't live here. They don't have permission to be here. And they broke in through a window. The younger officer was already examining the bedroom window, which was indeed open with scuff marks on the sill. Looks like someone climbed through here, he said. We can explain, Austin said. You can explain it at the station, the older officer replied. You're both under arrest for breaking and entering. As they handcuffed Erica and Austin, I felt something I hadn't expected. Not satisfaction or revenge, but relief. Like I'd finally closed a chapter of my life that should have ended months ago. Nick, Erica called out as they led her toward the door. Please don't do this. I'm not doing anything, I replied. You did this to yourself. After they left, I sat in my living room and called Jay back. How do you feel? He asked. Free, I said, and realized it was true. Good. It's about time. I looked around the condo. My condo now, really and truly. For the first time since I'd bought it, it felt like home. My phone buzzed with a text from Liv. Saw the news? Are you okay? Better than okay, I texted back. Want to grab dinner tomorrow? Definitely. I'll pick the restaurant, somewhere they don't allow phones. I laughed. After months of living in Erica's social media world, dinner without phones sounded perfect. The next morning, I woke up to sunlight streaming through windows that I'd forgotten could be opened. Erica had always kept the blinds closed because natural light was bad for the furniture. I opened every window in the place and made coffee in a mug that didn't match the others. Then I sat on my couch, the comfortable one I'd bought to replace Erica's designer torture device, and read the news on my phone. The story was already online. Local PR executive arrested for burglary. The article mentioned that Erica had recently lost her job due to a social media scandal and that her boyfriend was a fitness instructor who'd been exposed for fraudulent business practices. I felt bad for about 30 seconds. Then I remembered the 3 months of lies, the planning, the way they'd both dismissed me as too stupid to figure out what was happening. They'd made their choices. Now they got to live with the consequences. My phone rang. It was my lawyer. "Nick, I saw the news. Do you want to press charges?" "Absolutely." "It could get messy. Erica might try to claim she had a right to be in the apartment. Let her try. I have everything documented. The prenup, the lease, the changed locks, everything." "All right. I'll handle it." After I hung up, I realized something had changed. For the first time in years, I was making decisions based on what I wanted, not what would keep someone else happy. It felt good. That evening, Liv and I had dinner at a small Italian place in the North End. She'd been right about the phone policy. They actually had a basket at each table where you were supposed to leave your devices during the meal. "How are you handling everything?" she asked over wine. "Better than I expected. I think I'm finally understanding the difference between being nice and being a pushover. It's a hard lesson to learn. What about you? Any regrets about exposing Austin?" "None. He needed to face consequences for his actions. People like him think they can manipulate everyone around them without any repercussions. And now? Now he's facing reality. His Instagram following dropped by 70%. Most of his clients canceled. The gym fired him. Sounds like justice. It is justice, just like what happened to Erica. We talked until the restaurant closed, about everything except my ex-wife and her boyfriend. It was the first real conversation I'd had in months that didn't revolve around drama or lies or manipulation. Walking back to my car, I realized that Erica had been wrong about one thing. I wasn't the same nice guy who wouldn't hurt anyone, but I also wasn't the bitter, angry person I'd been 3 weeks ago. I was something new. Someone who stood up for himself, who didn't accept lies or manipulation, who understood that sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let people face the consequences of their choices. It was a good feeling. The story ends there, with me walking to my car on a clear October night, finally free of the people who'd tried to make me smaller than I was. I never saw Erica or Austin again, except in court, where they both pled guilty to reduced charges and received community service. I kept the condo, started dating Liv seriously, and learned to trust my instincts about people. And I never again made the mistake of thinking that being nice meant being weak. Sometimes the best revenge is simply refusing to be a victim.